This is the TJ Evans Show, and here's my uncle, TJ Evans.
When Joe Biden got elected as president, he said that he was going to unify the country. He wanted to throw politics to the side. He wants to get back to where the United States was before Donald Trump got in office.
I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide, but unify. Who doesn't see red states and blue states, only sees the United States. And work with all my heart, with the confidence of the whole people, to win the confidence of all of you. And for that is what America, I believe, is about.
But this week he said, nah, we're going to throw all that to the side and we're going to split this thing back up. And since he's a far leftist, and I know that a lot of people think that he's moderate, he's not. He said anybody who is a MAGA supporter, a Donald Trump supporter, is an extremist.
What's the next step on abortion once this case gets settled?
What happens if you have a state changes the law saying that children who are LGBTQ can't be in classrooms with other children? Is that legit under the way that the decision is written? What are the next things that are going to be attacked? Because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history, in recent American history.
I don't know if Joe Biden knows this, but MAGA, Make America Great Again, is a slogan. It's not an organization. And Black Lives Matter in the last couple of years, $2 billion worth of damage because of riots. Antifa, who has infiltrated the school system with Marxism. And what about the Ku Klux Klan, who lynched black and white individuals across the South? And I'm pretty sure that anybody who voted for Donald Trump didn't do that. And let's not even get started on the CIA. I'm pretty sure these organizations are more extreme than a Trump supporter. But I'm your host, TJ Evans, and this is another episode of the TJ Evans Show. And I want you to do the social media thing and subscribe to the YouTube and Rumble pages, Royal Family Studios. Also, like this video and comment down below. Who is the most extreme, the right or the left? And we see in the schooling systems that is ran by the leftists that they're doing something totally different than what we're used to. And this is why Governor Ron DeSantis out of Florida said, you know what? You're not allowed to teach kids about sex in schools, especially when they're between certain ages. But a high school out of Pennsylvania reacted to this, along with other leftists around the country. But this school in particular decided to have a drag show for the students and not tell the parents. And honestly, it just looks like they just want to teach kids about sex, and it may or may not be for nefarious reasons, but it looks pretty nefarious. And also we have what happened out of Rochester, New York, where a teacher decided to teach his students or her students, I'm not going to put a sex on anybody anymore because that's a problem, about slavery, but more hands-on.
A group of parents in the Rochester City School District sounding the alarm after their kids came home this week saying a teacher at School of the Arts made racist remarks and had students participate in racist activities. Amel Alhouse spoke to two of those parents and their students and has more on this story now.
Adam Tree said, the students I spoke with said this week the teacher in question brought in bags of cotton to school and made students pick out seats. And on a separate occasion, the students said the teacher brought in shackles and handcuffs to use on the students during a lesson. Their mothers are outraged, and now they are calling on the district to do better.
He said, it's cotton, y'all gonna be picking cotton today. So I immediately was like, oh, I'm not doing that. And then he was like, do it, it's for a good grade.
Janasia Brown is a 7th grader at the School of the Arts and says being forced to pick cotton is not the first time her social studies teacher created a racist and hurtful learning environment.
She said, yes, Mom. He forced me to put handcuffs on my wrist. He put them on my wrist himself.
Vialma Ramos O'Neill says her son came home and told her the same things.
I honestly did not believe him because I never would have expected anything like that to be happening in this day and age.
The Rochester City
And I understand how this young student felt, and I'm glad that she had wits about her to say, nah, this isn't cool. But it's funny how the teacher tried to bribe her with a grade. And I'm pretty sure 9 times out of 10, I haven't heard it before, but there isn't a conservative teacher that would try to teach their students about slavery this way. And I'm pretty sure there's not too many conservatives at liberal arts schools.
Being friendly and being a friend, I think, are two different things. I think there are many whites who act friendly toward Negroes. A fox acts friendly toward the lamb. And usually the fox is the one who ends up with the lamb chop on his plate. The wolf doesn't act friendly, and therefore the wolf has more difficulty in getting the lamb chop in his plate.
I'd like to point out, though, that...
And I say that because it is usually if you study the structure of the Negro community, economically, politically, civically, psychologically, and otherwise, it's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro, who actually differs from the white conservative in the same way that the fox differs from the wolf. Their appetite is the same. Their motives are the same. It's only their mannerisms and methods that differ.
Yeah, I say that's one point for the liberals, and this is why I have chosen to want to homeschool my kids, because the school system is all messed up and it's ran by leftists, by Democrats, the people who we voted in because we choose to vote Democrat 90% of the time, especially as a black individual, as black people. And then we can move on to what's going on with the Roe versus Wade situation. And let's say what's extreme. I'm saying that it is extreme to want to kill babies. That's me personally. You can feel a certain way about it and you could put months on it, but me personally, conception is a baby. But let's say you put months on it. Let's say we go for 3 months, or let's say we can go into the second trimester. There are states across the United States where they say all the way up to the point of birth. And I was shocked to see how many states said there are no exemptions to it. But there are a couple who say, yeah, we don't even care how many months. It's all the way up to this point. But what's been going on is Roe versus Wade could be thrown out, and individuals online are reacting to it.
It doesn't matter when life begins. It doesn't matter whether a fetus is a human being or not. That argument is a red herring, a distraction, a subjective and unwinnable argument that could not matter less. It doesn't matter whether we're talking about a fertilized egg or a fetus or a baby or a 5-year-old or a Nobel Prize winning pediatric oncologist. Nobody has a right to use your body against your will, even to save their life or the life of another person. That's it. That's the argument. You cannot be forced to donate blood or marrow or organs, even though thousands die every year on waiting lists. They cannot even harvest your organs after your death without your explicit, written, pre-mortem permission. Denying women the right to an abortion means a woman has less bodily autonomy than a corpse.
Mind you, I wasn't going to speak about the whole abortion issue, but since Apple came out and they brought about this emoji, I feel like I'm pretty safe now since I'm a man, and apparently I could get pregnant. But TikTokers aren't the only individuals talking about this. We have prominent figures like senators and news correspondents who have issue with what's going on with the overturning of Roe versus Wade.
He looks up, angry and upset and determined. The United States Congress can keep Roe versus Wade the law of the land. They just need to do it.
I've never seen you so angry. You seem to be...
This is what the Republicans have been working toward this day for decades. Angling for decades now, and we are going to fight back. I am angry because of who will pay the price for this.
We don't even have paid family leave. We don't even have affordable child care in this freaking country. Okay, and the people who fight against those kinds of laws are Republicans.
And yet,
What do you want them to do with their kids when they have to go to work? What do you want them to do? What do you want them to do? I want them to answer that freaking question. Answer the question. Journalists, ask them the question. Ask them. Ask them.
isn't it amazing?
Ask them the goddamn question. God.
Isn't it amazing that not one Democrat has shown 1% of the passion that Anna has today?
They don't care.
They
They're
don't care.
fine. They're
They don't
fine.
care.
They're all so old, they don't even have to worry about it affecting them. And if they're young enough where it would affect them, they'll get their abortion.
Officials are preparing for potential violence in the Capitol and nationwide after the leak of that Supreme Court draft opinion that would strike down Roe v. Wade after 50 years. Capitol Police are warning the far right is calling for violence against a religious group planning to rally for abortion rights. Whitney Wild is live outside the Supreme Court. Listen, seeing fences go up there, it's sort of like post-January 6th. What are you seeing, and what specific intelligence is worrying police officials?
Well, at this point, law enforcement sources, several of them tell us that they are closely monitoring social media chatter that suggests that there's a potential for violence against abortion clinic providers, abortion clinic staff, members of the judiciary. That would include the justices here, as well as members of the federal government. And what we know after January 6th and what law enforcement knows across the country is that social media chatter can manifest into actual violence.
Honestly, Roe versus Wade wasn't even about abortion. They just tried to make it about abortion. But you can still get one. They're just making it a state right, which is supposed to be. It's constitutional. A lot of the times when people argue about abortion, they bring up rape and incest, but that's only less than 5% of the individuals who are actually getting abortions. And it's kind of sad because over 40% of the individuals being aborted are black individuals, and we're only 13% of the population. And I also want to add on that these are people. Like, if we actually think about it, we already know these are going to be babies, no matter how much you want to call them fetuses. I'm expecting a child, and for the first time, I felt the kicks, and the mother has felt her kicks for a while now. Like, probably around 4 or 5 months. But now I have felt the heartbeat, and this is like, 6, 7 months. But what would make an individual say, you know what, up to 8 or 9 months, I still want to snatch this kid out, or pull the kid out during or after birth, like, and just sit it there, and then we'll make a decision. Which sounds more extreme? Letting the child be born and live naturally, or snatching the kid out limb by limb? What sounds more extreme? Teaching the kids about gay sex and transgenderism, or just teaching kids about 2 + 2 = 4, the ABCs, biology? Or what sounds more extreme? Letting a comedian tell jokes, or rushing him on stage and then getting beat up, tossed out, and your arm folded the wrong way?
Was that Will Smith?
I'm out here. Uh-oh, Richard. Oh, wow. Wow.
In the past couple of weeks, Elon Musk has been acquiring or trying to acquire Twitter. But we have people on the left who are saying that's a terrible thing because Elon Musk is going to let people back on Twitter. But Elon Musk just want to let people have free speech. Free speech is extreme, but they're saying he's a billionaire. He shouldn't be able to do this. But a billionaire owns Washington Post and Jeff Bezos. A billionaire named Mike Bloomberg owns Bloomberg. Mark Zuckerberg owns Facebook and Instagram. Google owns YouTube, and those are all ran by leftists. All these organizations are ran by leftists, and And Elon Musk is a socialist. The only thing he wants is free speech, but that's extreme to the leftists, who are actually Marxists. But what's more extreme? You let me know in the comments down below. I'm your host, TJ Evans, and this is another episode of the TJ Evans Show. I want you to do your own research. This is just stuff that I seen that just seemed kind of crazy to me this week. But yeah, y'all stay safe, stay prayed up. Like the video, subscribe to the page, Royal Family Studios, YouTube, Rumble, all that good stuff. Peace.